Hey there, Scott Wilkinson here, Director of Content at AVS Forum. I'm here with David Bott, the founder of AVS Forum, and Joe Kane, video guru, who is going to be on a panel with a bunch of people tomorrow, a whole conference about UHD, the whole 4K thing, UHD. You prefer to call it 2160p, I know.
Thank you very much. Somebody's got to separate the fact that it isn't 4K.
Right. Exactly. And all throughout this whole show here at CE Week, we've got 4K UHD, 2160p displays, some of which are showing native 4K UHD content, but a lot of them are doing upscaling, and that's really the problem with this whole new type of television system is where's the content really going to come from?
Well, it's obviously a chicken or egg sort of thing. The studios all have content, and they have a lot of content in that format. The problem is that there aren't any displays out there that can show it. There's no reason to distribute it. So it's a type of situation where we've actually got to have some sort of installed base before there's any possible profitability in distributing content. So what's happening is the manufacturers of the display devices are stepping up first and actually providing the displays, and then the hope is that enough of them will sell that the content will come. The content is there, it just isn't made available.
But don't you, like on AVS Forum, we see the argument all the time that, okay, there's 4K content, they're not making it available because nobody's buying the sets. I don't think that's the case that nobody's buying the sets. They'll buy the sets, but they want to be assured there's going to be content. And how do you assure that? I mean, are they coming out with, I mean, where do you see it coming from at first? Do you see it coming from hard drives, downloading, terrestrial? What do you see?
Well, I certainly see the internet as the source of the material to begin with. There's something going on in the industry now that's going to delay this, and I know I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for saying that. But what's happening is there's a realization that 2160p has to be more than just more resolution. And that's part of what tomorrow's panel is all about. In fact, that's the session that I'm on, that it needs to be more. It needs to be better color. It needs to be better bit depth. It needs to be a whole bunch of things to really sell. So as much as we know what the resolution of the format is going to be, we don't know what the color of the format is, we don't know what the gamma is going to be, we don't even know what color the grayscale is going to be. And so what's happening is the studios are saying, yes, we want to provide content, but we would like this to be so compelling that you won't have, I won't say you won't have a choice, but they certainly want the grab you by the eyeballs and say, you gotta have this.
And definitely gotta have and want, so you gotta be able to see that.
Yes. And so the idea, what we're trying to do now is look at the possibility of coming up with a whole new video system. One that would have a different set of colors, a different grayscale, a different gamma, a different bit depth. Everything is on the table about this new system. And it's actually long overdue. Our current system is based on the CRT. The CRT is gone. And right now, every other technology has to emulate the CRT because that's our system standard. Well, what if we could come up with a system that could take advantage of what some of the newer displays can do over what the CRT could do? We could actually come up with a seriously better video system. So 2160p has the potential of ushering in a whole new generation of video. I just don't think it's going to happen overnight.
That's the real problem, is we've got these displays and they're following more or less the format that we've got now in terms of color, grayscale, and so on. But what you're talking about really is going to take years probably to finally fully develop, don't you think?
I actually hope it's not going to take years. One of the reasons I'm saying that is I've seen turnarounds in technology, relatively speaking, overnight. If you think about how fast 1080p came on, nobody expected 1080p to come on as quickly as it did and as prolific as it is. And it didn't take that many years for it to happen. And I honestly believe the technology to do everything that we want to do is pretty much here. Because what we're doing is we're catering to what the technology can do today. So we're creating a system based on what we can do, which in my mind means that we can bring it to market once we settle on what we're actually going to do. We can actually bring it to market faster than you saw 1080p come to market. But we have to decide what my challenge is, what I'm doing personally, is looking at the technology that's out there, saying, what is it capable of doing? And if I were going to design a whole new TV system today based on what technology can do, what would I do? Well, there's a whole bunch of things that I would end up doing. And in some way, we're going to end up leading where new display devices go, because what's going to happen is we're going to set a system that pulls the market in the direction that we want them to go. I'm certainly not going to make this easy. In other words, I'm sorry, when have I ever...
I can't imagine when you've ever made it easy, but you're always aimed at making it better, and that's the key.
That's correct. I want the system to have room to grow. I want the system to beg people to do better than they're doing today.
And Joe, that's exactly in the past when AVS gave you an award. It was for pushing the envelope, making things, driving things to be better. And you're still doing it today, even with the new formats. So thank you.
Thank you for that. And I appreciate that, because that is what I want to do, that I want things to be better for the consumer. And so part of my involvement in this, I want them to be better for the consumer, not worse. In other words, I want to make sure whatever happens goes in a direction that can be done at an affordable price. It is called a mass communication system, and it's not mass communication unless a large number of people can afford it. So I see limitations based on what we can do, but I also see building a system that pulls, drags, whatever term you want to use.
Drags kicking and screaming.
Yes. I want a system that pulls us towards a much better future than we have now.
If I can switch subjects really quick, what do you think about that future holds for 3D and that content?
I don't have an answer for that. Obviously 3D is going to higher frame rates, and right now there's a controversy of looks like video instead of looking like film, and of course is consumers getting used to it. The better motion capability of the higher frame rate is a positive thing for me. I want to see a glass-free 3D. And of course, it's being shown here. It's being shown here at Stream TV Networks. That's correct. That's important to point out that that's not an impossible issue either. So for me, I am looking in the direction of what Stream TV is illustrating here at the show to augment the 3D capability of this much higher definition system.
Because it was just, as they were showing, they were taking 2D content and converting it to 3D live, if you will. That was cool.
Yes, that's certainly another issue that may help. I think the biggest issue that's going to help 3D is being able to watch it without glasses.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so I think in conjunction with what they're doing, there's a possibility of pulling 3D into this new technology and pulling it into it in a much more logical way.
What about the issue of the first generation 2160p TVs that are out there now that obviously don't conform to this better system that you're envisioning?
I'm asking manufacturers that I'm consulting with to provide some upgrade paths. There are certainly things that we are going to be doing that would be simple for manufacturers to provide a path, so that any new system is going to be a gradual introduction anyway. And there is going to have to be compatibility with our existing system, because every single display is going to have to be capable of our existing system. So there's also, any new system is going to have a path that includes our current system. So the best I can say for anybody who's buying now, the manufacturers that I'm working with are actually providing upgrade paths or partial upgrade paths to where I want to go. And I'm certainly conscious and am advising an upgrade path because I think it's going to be necessary and I think it's going to come.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
As always, thank you very much on behalf of AVS Forum.